the Army of Republika Srpska, which it defied. Active during the Bosnian War, it continued to exist as the Armed Forces of RS, one of two entities making up Bosnia and Herzegovina, until 2006 when it was integrated into the Armed Forces of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Forces of the VRS engaged in a number of campaigns including Operation Corridor 92, Operation Verbas, 92, Operation Bura, Operation Spider, and the Army also perpetrated the Siege of Sarajevo from 1992 to 1995 and the Srebrenica Massacre in 1995. The Army of the Republika Srpska was founded on 12 May 1992 from the remnants of the Yugoslav People's Army of the former Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, from which Bosnia and Herzegovina had seceded earlier in 1992. When the Bosnian War erupted, the JNA formally discharged 80,000 Bosnian Serb troops. These troops, who were allowed to keep their heavy weapons, formed the backbone of the newly formed Army of the Republika Srpska. Aside from being made up largely of ethnic Serbs from Bosnia and Herzegovina, the VRS also included ca. 4,000 foreign Orthodox Christian volunteers, 700 of whom came from Russia, and 300 to 800 from Bulgaria. 100 Greeks also volunteered to fight on the side of the Bosnian Serbs, forming the Greek Volunteer Guard, which allegedly participated in the Srebrenica massacre. After the war, the country of Bosnia and Herzegovina had two armies, that of the VRS and the Army of the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. AFBIH was itself composed out of two elements, the ARBIH and HVO. The two armies functioned without a common command, on the principle of non-intervention in the affairs of the other. Basara Turkovic noted that it was therefore questionable whether a foreign attack on Sarajevo would defend this capital city. The existence of the two separate armies was one of the factors impeding civil-military relations development. The VRS conducted demining. In 2003, the army began to integrate into the armed forces of Bosnia and Herzegovina. In 2005, a fully integrated unit of Serbs, Bosniaks, and Croats was deployed to augment the U.S.-led coalition forces in Iraq. On 6 June 2006, it was fully integrated into the armed forces of Bosnia and Herzegovina controlled by the Ministry of Defense of Bosnia and Herzegovina. The supreme commander of the VRS was General Ratko Mladic, later indicted at the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia for genocide, as were other high-ranking Serb officers. Mladic was arrested in Serbia on 26 May 2011. The International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia stated that, in July 1995, the armed forces of the Republika Srpska were under the command and control of the Commander-in-Chief, Radovan Karadzic. His headquarters was in Pale, within the framework of the VRS. Immediately subordinate to the Commander-in-Chief was the main staff of the VRS, headquartered in Han Piezik and commanded by General Ratko Mladic. It was the responsibility of the commander of the main staff to issue regulations, orders and instructions regarding the implementation of orders by the Commander-in-Chief, and to discharge the command duties delegated to him by the Commander-in-Chief. The main staff of the VRS consisted of staff officers and staff support personnel, as well as some specialized military units such as the 65th Protection Regiment, designed to provide protection and combat services for the main staff, and the 10th Sabotage Detachment, a unit trained for operations behind enemy lines and other special combat assignments. The vast majority of the fighting force of the VRS itself was divided into 6 geographically based corps, all subordinate to and under the command of General Mladic and, in turn, the Commander-in-Chief, Radovan Karadzic. In July 1995, the 6 corps were the Dina Corps, the 1st Krajina Corps, the 2nd Krajina Corps, the Sarajevo Romania Corps, the Herzegovina Corps and the East Bosnia Corps, formerly known as Ratno Vazduhoplovstvo I Protiv, Vazdusna Odbrana Vojske Republike Srpska or RVIPVORS. Beginning on 1 June 2004, the Republika Srpska Air Force was officially called Prvi Puk Vazduhoplovstva I Protiv Vazdusna Odbrana Vojske Republike Srpska. also known as 1st Aviation Regiment and Air Defense Force of the Republic of Srpska's Army.